What's your host Tyler is back with the Red Reviews here on Tyler's Red Reviews with King of the Ring 1999. Like I said, this is like a side quest, which it's just getting the remaining 99 WWF periods done with. Outside of Over the Edge, because I'm not touching that by a 10-foot pole. And you're understanding why I'm not doing it. Because of that. We're going to move on from that. I mean, let's be. Spoilers about that one. Undertaker won the world title, so we're going to that's an event that not well received. Let's be honest, and all that. Anyways, King of the Ring '99. This was a painful show to get through. I'm just quickly go through it. June 27th. It was in the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina. So yeah. Now going into this, the higher power was revealed to be Vince McMahon. It was me, Austin. It was me all along, and all that. And so Linda stepped down as CEO because then Stone Cold becomes the CEO instead. And storyline wise, it's kind of like how I have Stone Cold as the CEO in my company. Although this is a cave, although this is a real CEO position for him, as you all know, throughout my history about that. Why Stone Cold I choose him as the CEO because fuck it. That's who I wanted to be. He does wrestle sometimes, but not all the time. I mean, he does wrestle a few times and all that, but yeah. Yeah, he basically turned the old dirty headquarters into like a play thing, like he tells some random guy saying, really, you're fired. You're fired for looking stupid and get your ass out the door. And Jim says I never liked him anyways. And all that. And then Vince challenged Stone Cold to a ladder handicap match in the main event for for the for the CEO position. That's what it was. And also there was the King Ring tournament. All like the first round qualifying matches happened on Sunday Night Heat. Yeah, the B show. This is before, well, outside of that pilot episode. This was way before SmackDown started. And, like, really, on Sunday Night Heat, all the qualifying matches happened. I don't think one happened on Raw. Like, that's stupid. I mean, we complain nowadays that they're doing, like, multi-man matches for the first round. Shit, at least they're trying with it, but you can tell that this year in 1999 they did not give a shit about the King of the Ring. Oh, King of the Ring's happening. Put all the first round matches on Saturday Night Heat. Yeah. Anyways, there was also this like so long story if Shane actually like appear in the main event or not, which we'll get to the reason why and all that. And yeah. We started with the first quarter-final match. They did the quarter-final, semifinals, and the final matches of this King of the Ring tournament. So yeah, X-Pac defeats Hardcore Holly by disqualification. It was what it was. It was Hardcore got himself disqualified by hitting X-Pac right in the face with a steel chair. And also around this Yeah. And then, yeah, Road Dogg tried to stop Holly, and then that was that. And Hardcore Holly basically says, "I had forgot about you, Big Show." And I was like, "What the hell does that have to do with the next?" Well, yeah, we'll talk about that next match. Yeah, 2 out of 10. I'm giving it. Which, speaking of, we get another quarterfinal match. Kane defeats the Big Show. A decent match, but this had the first of many ref bumps. And no, Jeff Jarrett was nowhere near this whole thing, so Marky D was not impressed with that, because his favorite quote is a wild slap nose appears. Well, at least we don't have to deal with him out here, like the rest of my stuff and all that. Like I said, there's a ref bump, like the first of many ref bumps on this night. Hardcore gets involved and Kane just choke slams him. Then that spot where Kane was choking Big Show and all that, and then Big Show like stops that, and then Kane hits him right in the face with a steel chair also. Chair shots to the head are kind of uncomfortable to look at. As an adult now. 5.5 out of 10 I'll give it. It was... Yeah. Anyways, then we get another quarterfinal King tournament match. Billy Gunn defeats Ken Sherry by referee stoppage because Steve Blackman, beats him up with Singapore Canes on Sunday Heat and all that. And that was another, whole thing where... but yeah, this was a short match, and the match ends with Billy Gunn powerbomb, and Ken Sherry and referee Tanner Long says, "We're done, play. The match is over." And then Sherry got pissed and threw him out of the ring. So, oh look, another sort of ref bump, but still 3 out of 10 I'll give it. I wonder why Sherry left after this. Maybe he was supposed to have a program with Jericho, and that did not really happen. But yeah. And then in the last quarterfinal match in the King Ring tournament, Road Dogg defeats China. Triple H was supposed to be in this tournament, but he decided not to do it because he's already won King Ring and all that. And yeah, this is the best one of all the quarterfinal matches. Guess what? We get another ref bump from Earl Hebner. Oh look, here's Triple H and here's Earl Hebner. I swear, I'm getting this is like today with Becky Lynch and Jessica Carr. Nowadays, although Triple H is not wrestling this match, so... No, seriously. Am I getting flashbacks to... With Becky Lynch and Jessica Carter, I'm getting flashbacks to when Triple H and Earl Hebner do all these bigger and all that. Oh, well, the only difference is... This did not end with Triple H hitting Earl Hebner with a sledgehammer and all that. If you know, go back to my Judgment 3 review. About all that. Oh, I'm sorry. In words of Becky Lynch on Twitter, it's corrupted Carr. Shawn Michaels got involved and come out and tell Triple H to get back, go to the back and all that. China was supposed to punch Road Dogg in the Finley Jewels, but he had a protective metal cup underneath it. So, why couldn't H.L.'s done this sort of thing 19 years later with his program in Nakamura, had a protected cup underneath it? But yeah, Road Dogg won. He faces X-Pac in the semifinals, and Billy Gunn will face Kane in the semifinals also. still, a 6 out of 10, probably the best one of the whole tournament, I'm going to be honest with you. Anyways, next up is a match to determine the number of contenders for the WWF Tag Team Championships. By the way, why was Billy Gunn out there with a tag title? Well, he stole it from one of the Acolyte members. I believe it was Bradshaw. Yeah, it was Bradshaw. And all that. So the Hardy Boys defeats Edge and Christian in this match. This is like the first of their main matches. Gangrel got involved and accidentally cost his team the match and all that. And the Hardys does won tag titles, funnily enough. But more on that when I do Fully Loaded next month. Like I said, going through these and all that. And unfortunately, I have to do 2 SummerSlams this year. But I won't tell you what they are. Because I don't want to spoil you all. I mean, you obviously know what it is on the community tab and all that on this channel, so what do I know? Regardless, so that, again, no spoiler. I'm not spoiling you what they are. I mean, you obviously know, because you saw, like, the pictures and all that. But yeah, for 4 minutes, it was actually okay. This was a redo from their match on Sunday Night Heat, by the way. Yes, this is a redo from their match on Sunday Night Heat before this. That was their pre-show for the pay-per-view and all that. Yeah, 6 out of 10 will give it. And then Vince comes out afterwards and says, there's not going to be no ladder match tonight. And then Shawn says, well, you're going to have to find a new partner and all that. We'll get to the funniest review BS of all BS's after all that. But yeah, that was like right after this match, and yeah. Anyways, next up is the semifinal match for the King Tournament. Billy Gunn defeats Kane. Not good. I'm just being honest with you. This was not good. There's yet another fucking ref bump. Big Show comes in. He hits Kane with a steel chair. Another chair shot to the head. Although Kane was wearing a mask, but still, it's still cringy to look at these now because whether I was a kid or adult, they're still fucking cringy to watch because, well, you know. I mean, nothing is more cringy than the deep blade shot from Judgment Day 2004. If you know that, if you know about that, that was like the, yeah, 3 out of 10 I'll give it. And then the other semi-final match, X-Pac defeats Road Dogg. At least this didn't have no ref bump, no interferences, no chair shots to the fucking head. At least. But still, other than a 3 out of 10 I'll give it. So it's Billy Gunn versus X-Pac in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Whatever. Anyways, next up is for the WWF Championship. The Undertaker defeats The Rock to retain the WWF Championship. Talking about the most overbooked, attitude era fuckness. This was it, because Rock won a match. It was mostly a handicap match against Undertaker and Triple H, really, on a Raw before this. So, before we get to the match, 5 seconds in, Undertaker knocks out the referee, Mike Hero. Why? 10 seconds later, Rock bomb. Not even a moment later, the referee Earl Hebner comes down and gets decked by Paul Bear and all that. Then they were brawling around the arena and all that. And then there's another ref bump. And all that. There's that fucking rag. Also, that Ether fucking shit. Yeah, and then Taker was going to use it. It backfired. He hit. The Rock gives him that. Then Triple H comes in with a pedigree because he was supposed to be Vince's Shane's replacement for the main event. We'll get to that in a moment. Rock kicked out of that. Then Undertaker hits him with a tombstone. There. And that was the finish. You know, after fuckness aside, this was actually a decent world title match, you know. It's a shame because I love both Undertaker and The Rock, you know, all that, but they have odd chemistry together. I mean, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's probably the best match on this crap pay-per-view and all that. But there's that, and afterwards, Shawn Michaels kicks Triple H out of the building and says, "That's supposed to be my tag partner, damn it." And Shawn says, "No shit, Sherlock." And then Vince was on the phone, like, "Come on, turn around. So who the hell will that be? But we'll get to that. Because we got a King of the Ring finals to talk about. Billy Gunn defeats X-Pac. Talk about a lame dud finals for a King of the Ring. I think ever. Billy Gunn won. And that was it. It was 5 minutes, and that was get in, get out. Billy Gunn won King of the Ring. Of course, this led to the funniest promo from The Rock. Yeah. Right after this pay-per-view, like, on Sunday Night Heat, I had to do this for old time's sake. I'm sorry. The God promo. "Oh, dear God. You see, my name is Billy, and I just won King of the Ring. But there's one problem. Everybody still thinks that I absolutely suck." And, yeah, that. And as the crowd started coming, the hand started rolling, and God himself said to you like this, "Bob, but my name's Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is. That's right, you do suck, and you must face The Rock. Oh, dear God. Anyone but know your role and shut your mouth." I had to do it. But although Ilya might be a bad King of the Ring winner, Viscera might be a bad King of the Ring winner, but at least they won. Like, I know he was not called Viscera in 95, okay? He was called Mabel and all that. At least they wanted to build a monster heel in Viscera. I'm calling Viscera, fuck it. And Billy Gunn, at least they tried to make him like a heel and all that, but when Rock cut that God promo, there was nothing for them to do, really, because Rock destroyed him on the mic. And that God promo and all that. But my opinion, the worst King of the Ring is Baron Corbin. It lasted longer. He had that disastrous feud with Roman Reigns with the fucking dog food. I give this a 2 out of 10. Because, yeah. And then the next night, Billy Gunn lost a match to Bradshaw for the control of the tag team titles or something like that. One of them at least, so. What was the whole thing of pointing at him stealing one of the tag titles anyways? Whatever. And then finally, the main event, a handicap match for control of the WWF. So Vince McMahon had Triple H as his second choice. His third choice was going to be Steve Blackman. Yeah, Steve Blackman in a main event of a pay-per-view. But then GTV came. You know, that whole thing was supposed to be like the Goldust being the one to do it, but then Dustin Rhodes left to go to WCW, becomes 7, and that didn't last long and all that. It's so shame it's faking his whole injury, so he won't compete in the match. And Shawn says, "Get your ass to the ring" and all that. Keep in mind, this is before he became a born again Christian. And then tell Steve like to get out and all that. And then we get the actual handicap match for control of the company. Vince and Shane McMahon defeat Stone Cold Steve Austin and all this because of screwy shenanigans. I give this a 6 out of 10. Now, Austin was beating the fuck out of the McMahons. This was literally that. Literally, it was just Austin beating the fucking shit out of the McMahons throughout this entire match. He was going to climb the ladder, he was going to grab the briefcase. And then somebody up in the rafters was yanking the briefcase up and away from Stone Cold Steve Austin. But when Vince goes, the briefcase came back down. We still have no fucking clue who did it. I mean, it kind of makes sense to be the big boss man because I believe there was a tip where no interference in the match or someone get fired for that. Yeah. But we don't know who did it. So this mystery is still unknown for 27 years now. And then Shane just basically sacrificed his father by pulling the ladder down and grabs the briefcase, and they got control back of the company. Like, I get a 6 out of 10 for being entertaining and all that, but my god, what a shitty pay-per-view. I'm just being honest with you. And then the night after, Stone Cold won back to the championship. The night after on Raw against The Undertaker and all that, which gets to the next period we're going to go to. But yeah, Catering 99. Not enjoyable whatsoever. It was painful to get through. Yeah. So, that's a 3.5 out of 10 I'll give it. But anyways, we're going back to the Ruthless Aggression era in 2002 with Vengeance 2002 next week. So there's that. So like this video, comment below, subscribe to this channel here, click the notification bell, and tomorrow I'll make my SmackDown review. I'm praying for Charlotte to win tomorrow. But keep that praying for me. But anyways, that's tomorrow, and this session will be the day after, and there. We're done for tonight. Bye-bye.